Hi guys, so I did a recent poll. Thank you to everyone who had voted. It was a tie between a client story or like business, marketing, sales, and how to build a successful clientele. It was like a tie between the two. So I decided I'm gonna start with a client story. So here it goes. Grab a snack, hang out. It's a long one. It's gonna be a good one. So basically, this gal came into the salon, brand new to me, brand new to the salon, and she was getting a haircut all over color and highlights. So she was getting the works. And when she came in the salon and sat in my chair right away, I could tell that she was really nervous and the vibe just wasn't quite right. She told me that she'd been to multiple other salons and stylists and no one could ever get it right. Her hair never turned out like she wanted. She had never been happy with her hair before. And she just hasn't found a stylist that she really connected with and wanted to stay with. So here I'm thinking, red flag, because she's never able to be pleased. And what I've learned, if anything so far, you can't win them all. Sometimes there are people that just cannot be pleased with their hair. And so I'm thinking, okay, challenge accepted. I need to make sure that I have a thorough consultation with her so we are both on the same page so that I know exactly what she wants, exactly what she doesn't want, and I know what I am going to do. So she's telling me, she doesn't like this, she doesn't like that. It's always been too dark. Like they put a dark brown on my hair. It's always way too dark. Like I don't want dark. And so I'm thinking, okay, she does not want dark. So she digs in her bag and pulls out like all of these photos and just like lays them out. And they're all photos of her younger self. And she said, I loved my hair when it looked like this. This is what I used to look like. I love this color. Nobody's ever been able to recreate this color. And these are older photos. And sometimes your perception of color with the other person's perception of color might be a little bit off. So I started asking her specific questions. What about this do you love? This photo is a little bit different. What about this photo is it that you love? And she would also tell me about the memories of the photos as well. And so I'm thinking does she just want to live in be her past self? Maybe it goes deeper than just a hairstyle. Maybe it's something within herself that she's not pleased about or something. You know what I mean? It's not just hair, guys. Honestly, when you sit in my chair, it is not just about your hair. It is so much more than that. And that is what I like to include in the services that I provide to you, And so I'm thinking maybe it's more than just her hair. And she's telling me that nobody could ever get it right. So here I'm thinking okay, red flags. Red flags to me, one, because nobody can ever get it right. So I could be in that group of stylists that never get it right. And then two, maybe she just can never be pleased, because there are those people that could never be pleased. That's another story for another day. So I'm thoroughly having this consultation from head to toe, what she wants, what she doesn't want. We got it. I know exactly what I'm going to do. So I go in the back in our dispensary and I start mixing up what I'm going to use, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. We're doing quite a few different things. I'm mixing 3 different colors together to create this custom blend for her in this photo that she had brought to me. Okay. So I bring the color out and she was like, can I see in there? Show me the bowl. So I show her the color in the bowl and she was like, oh yeah, that's way lighter than anybody's ever mixed up for me. Cause they always put a dark brown on me. And I'm like, yeah, cause this ain't a dark brown. We're not doing that. And cause you told me that's not what you don't want. So I'm not going to put a dark brown on your hair. Okay. So just at this point, I'm reassuring her what I'm doing, because while I start applying the colors, she's asking me exactly what I'm doing, why I'm doing it that way, why I'm using what I'm using, what kind of foil formation I'm doing. And I'm thinking, look, I am the cosmetologist. You pay me for my professional skills that I am going to give to you. You don't need to question every single thing that I'm doing. While you might ask a few questions, totally fine. But don't tell me how to do my job when you're sitting in my chair. So I kind of at that point had to be a little bit forward with her in that sense, just reassuring her, hey, look, Linda, I know what I'm doing. I have got you. You can trust me. And that was really hard for her to do because I don't think anybody's ever told her that before. And she doesn't feel comfortable anywhere that she's been before. And I need to make sure that she is so comfortable with her entire experience from start to finish. And so she's processing, and she's like looking in the mirror. She's looking at this, she's looking at that, she's checking it out, and like, well, this isn't the color it's going to be, right? Well, no, your hair's processing. So no, this isn't going to be the color that it's going to be. Like, it's not finished yet. So she is trying to like peek at any moment that she can get. And sometimes what I do is I turn my client around so they can't even look in the mirror. And that is basically what I said. I said, you know what? I'm going to turn you around in the chair. And then I'm going to turn you back around when you're all done and finished so that you can see the finished result. I want it to be a surprise. It's going to be absolutely beautiful and you're going to love it. And she was like, oh, okay, we can do that. And so meanwhile, I'm talking to her. I was like, I want to know about you. You know, tell me about you and your life and your family and what you do for fun and what do you do for work. Like, it is all about that client. It's not about me. And so I'm trying to basically distract her at that point, you know, while I'm finishing her hair, and her hair is looking real good. Like, you know, when you're like blowing it out, these are for the hairstylists out there, you know, when you're like blowing it out and you can kind of decide like, okay, this is good. Like, I'm liking it. It's looking real good. Like, I was totally having those feelings. I'm like, she's going to love it. Like, this is beautiful. It's looking good. Okay. I see that dimension in those highlights. Like, I see that blonde. It's not dark brown. And so I finish her look. Okay. And I'm like, this is the moment of truth. She is either going to completely love her hair like she has never loved it before, or she could completely hate her look just like all the other times. And I could be just like all those other stylists that never got it right. Talk about a lot of pressure. So here's the moment of truth. And I spin her around in her chair. And she takes one look at her hair. And she literally starts crying, bawling, okay? We are talking so many tears. Like, I was like, where's the Kleenex, okay? I like go and grab Kleenex and give it to her. And I'm like, are you okay? Because I have never had this happen before. She was crying tears, guys, okay? And she was like, I have never seen my hair like this before. And I'm thinking, like, she hasn't even said if she likes it yet. Like, I was like, in like a good way or a bad way, like, you know what I mean? And she was like, she is literally like picking up all the photos that she had, and she's like looking at them and then looking at herself in the mirror. And she was like, I look like these photos again. And she turns and looks at me and says, I look like my sister, and she was always the prettier one. And that seriously like touched me so much, to know that I could transform someone's look so much that they would love themselves again. And it's moments like those that I live for. I was not in that group of stylists that could never get it right. So for me, that's validation in myself and my work, and knowing that I am able to deliver something that a client is looking for. And it was so hard not to get emotional over that. And she was like, I absolutely love my hair. She's like, it's never looked like this before. And you guys, what I think is so, so important, that we have a clear consultation with our guests, and that we don't rush it, and that we listen to them. Because for her, I almost think that it was more than just her hair. Like, in her mind, I think that it was so much more than just like a look that we were going for. I mean, while what I do completely like transforms your look, and it can just transform like your attitude and your confidence and all of that, like, I think that's what it did for her. It was so much more than like, oh, you just did my hair, you know, like you just put some color on it. Like, it was so much more than that. And I get so fulfilled by that. And it just like touched me so deep, and like her as well. And you know what? She is my regular client. Like, I see her every 6 weeks, and we get to know more and more about each other, and we get to continue this like beautiful style and this beautiful look on her that she's going for. And it is so much fun every single time she comes in the salon. The last time she came in the salon, we were going to touch up her color and do a haircut. And so that's basically what we did. And we did the same thing because she's loving how it's looking. And I spin her around in her chair and she was like, oh my gosh, I love you. Like, it's not every day that you can make someone's day like that, but when you do, it means the entire world. Like, just having that feeling and that, you know, confidence and that validation and being able to know that you can deliver that to your guests is such a great feeling. And for my guests to walk out feeling so confident, like they can do anything, like that is what I want for every single guest that sits in my chair. So guys, I hope that you enjoyed this story. I have plenty more. Let me know if you want to hear more. Thank you so much for hanging out with me, guys. And I hope you all have an awesome day. Bye.